Hi guys, today we have something important and it's kind of also shocking, but not that shocking. I keep on saying that when I talk about Ghana because now I don't know, to be quite honest, I'm very surprised at Mahama, but I think he's now being exposed, to be quite honest, because remember, when God is on your side, right, just like David was, and Saul was trying to kill him, assassinate him really, to be quite honest, but because God was on David's side, he keep on revealing the intentions of Saul, even though David didn't even wanted to do anything to Saul. This is the same thing that I think is happening to Mahama and Traore. Because Mahama has been acting, at least to a certain extent, that he's on the Sahel sides. But then we found out there is a U.S. military in Ghana. Not only is it just in Ghana, and it's not just a U.S. military. I think I show in 2 different videos that is a civilians kind of set up, to be quite honest. And both of them are in 2 Ghanaian airports, but one of them is actually close, or it's almost like close to, Ibrahim Traore, to Burkina Faso, obviously. And I'm like, Anyway, then recently, I think a week ago, apparently Ghana is trying to fight illegal mining, and guess who they invited? Yes, you guessed right. The French military. Like, seriously? I mean, couldn't you even invite the AES? Because I know that the military, like the way the AES has been really, really training right now, they are at a stage where if Mahama needed their help, they could have even helped. Even though, obviously, they are being backed up by Russia, by China, by Turkey, and those are very, very powerful countries that I mentioned. So why couldn't Mahama do that? Like, come on. How do you act like you actually are on your brother's side, or you have your brother's back, but you are actually sleeping in the same bed as the enemy? Because that's exactly what's happening. Even though Mahama is not married to, like in the case of, Alison Ouattara, to a French woman, there is no different. There's literally no different. Anyway, guys, I'm a bit kind of, let me put this video. This is a Ghanaian YouTuber talking about that. And then I'm going to put a Nigerian YouTuber. And these YouTubers, both of them are definitely not biased. The Ghanaian YouTuber talk about Ghana when it's needed to talk about Ghana. So listen to it quickly and then we'll come back.
This one is one of the most ridiculous updates I've ever come across. All right, or ridiculous update coming up from my motherland, Ghana. Right. So the Ghana Armed Force somehow landed in partnership with French military for what they call jungle warfare training. So French troops are on ground technically to train our army in what they are calling jungle warfare training, meaning they will be in the jungle and train the soldiers and blah, 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 because of illegal mining. That is where the whole ridiculous agenda is hiding. I want to look at the purpose of the training. The Ghana Armed Forces, the military of Ghana we are talking about. See, we are not at war with any superpower. Let me not rush. Yeah. So the main goal of the training is to improve Ghana Armed Forces effectiveness against heavily armed illegal miners who are operating in difficult jungle terrains where galamsey, illegal mining activity are spreading across. They jointly carry out the exercise at the Achase jungle. I've been in Achase several times. Achase jungle warfare training school in Ghana. The Ghanaian and the French troop are taking part in live firing drills and various tactical jungle operations together. I'm surprised that after so many years of independence, common people who are doing galamsey illegal miners, if it has gotten to the level where we need to bring in the French troops to come and help us to fight Galamsey, to come and train us before we can fight young boys who are handling weapons, whatever they got the weapons from, and they are mining illegally, destroying our forests and our environment. We need the French troops to come and help our soldiers. Then where is the sovereignty? So it means that our soldiers don't have, for so many years, they don't have the experience to be able to cultivate, tactical experience to fight illegal miners. If we are not at war with superpowers, for example, it is not like Ghana is at war with a superpower coming, a foreign power, and we need training from these people because they have experience, blah, blah, blah. No, Galamseyers, because of that, money needs to be used to bring in this French troop, and then we need to waste resources on these French troops to train our soldiers. So if the Galamseyers have become so powerful at that, then we are not safe in this country. Are we safe, right? Are we safe? It's just a question from normal citizen. While other people are chasing these people out of their region, Ghana, we are accommodating them. Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they have chased these people out because these people, when they come, this has been the agenda. They use one hand to be helping you solve the problem and use one hand to be sponsoring the problem from the other side. It has been like that. Are we not reading? We have suddenly forgotten the problem the African continent is in. The French troops said they also benefit, okay? They are also benefiting from training with our soldiers and training our soldiers. What is their benefit in this? That is one thing. Whatever attracted them, whatever they are benefiting from, they will keep this problem on so that they can keep getting the benefit. That has been the narrative. Go to Burkina Faso, Mali, and ask these people. Already, Ghana government, you should understand this. You are doing everything possible to take control of your gold. That is a threat to international communities. That is a complete threat. Go and ask Gaddafi. Go and ask DRC. Go and ask DRC. Go and ask the reason why Patrice Lumumba needs to be taken out of the scene. Go and ask. It is because of the control of the resources. Go and ask why Thomas Sankara needs to be gone. So this thing Ghana government is doing is attracting a lot of things. So involving these people is one of the dangerous things you are doing, by the way, because you need to keep these people completely away from our forests.
Okay, so when you listen to that, you can hear his disappointment in his own government, honestly speaking. This is like, so apparently you need, and this is the funny thing about it. He mentioned something there, I don't know whether you noticed. He said that apparently these illegal miners or whatever they call themselves has not been trained. Who trained them? That now the Ghanaian military cannot be able to do that to take care of that themselves. They didn't have training, these militants or whatever you call them, who are mining illegally in Ghana. They didn't have training, but apparently the Ghanaian Air Force or whatever Ghanaian military cannot handle that. Yet a small country like Zambia has had the same problems and they handle it themselves. So we know this is not about Ghana needing help. This is about Ghana betraying the AES. This is about Ghana betraying the Sahel Leaders, acting like he's on their side, but he's not. Okay, now listen to this other YouTuber. He's Nigerian. I love his analysis always. Just listen to him.
There is an update coming out of Ghana right now, and it is genuinely worrying to a lot of people who have been following the geopolitical landscape of West Africa at the moment. And if you are really paying attention, you will know exactly what France is up to in Africa. This latest development, it should worry you, yes, because Ghana's army, they are now working alongside the French military in the forest. And the official reason they are giving, they are telling us that they are helping Ghana to fight illegal miners. Now, when you look at it on the surface, for sure, it might look like a straightforward training in the jungle, like an attempt to stop Galamsey. Now, Galamsey is a kind of illegal mining, like illegal gold mining in Ghana. And Ghanaians, we are almost protesting against this very thing last year. It is a serious challenge to Ghana's gold mining sector. So they are trying to organize training in order to protect the forest of Ghana and defend the environment. Now, this is something that I always struggle to understand, because at a time when almost all Francophone African countries, especially in West Africa, they have all kicked out France and other Western forces. French boots on the ground have been asked to leave their former colonies. And why is that? It is because all the time that France has been in their countries doing whatever they were doing, they have not seen any visible benefit from all those military engagements. I have a lot of respect for John Mahama, but this military engagement with France is what I don't understand. Yes, I don't understand it, because there is no reason whatsoever for Ghana to be having this type of training and drill with France. Yes, they already have the United States in their country. Believe it or not, the US is operating freely from Ghana. The US is already operating from their airports and their so-called logistics hubs. And we both know it is more than a logistic hub. It is basically an intelligence hub, and it is a covert military base. So why not train with the US forces that you have already allowed in your country? Why go to the French? Why bring in the French when the US is already in your country? I am not saying that the US are the good guys. I'm just saying the US is already operating from Ghana. And if they need to train in order to stop the so-called Galamsey that is illegally mining gold in Ghana, and they decided that of all the foreign powers they can partner with for this training, it is the French. Explain to me how this makes sense. It is all complicating the whole geopolitical situation in West Africa right now. And John Mahama, who may very well be the next African Union chairman, if he's going to be in bed with the French, and if he's going to be in bed with all these destabilizing foreign forces in West Africa, there is no guarantee that as African Union chairman, anything will change for Africa. It will still be the old dirty politics and getting in bed with any power that offers some kind of military deal, even though we know their ulterior motive is to destabilize the West African region. We already know there is a public accusation. Yes, the accusation is out there in the open. The intelligence leaks, they are all out there in the open. France is being accused of being behind jihadist attacks, of being behind regime change operations, of being behind coup attempts all across West Africa, not just in the alliance of Sahel states. So knowing all of this and knowing everything that has been happening since the revolution started in the Sahel, why is Nigeria and Ghana taking back the French military that have been kicked out of their former colonies? Because if the French were protecting their former colonies with their military engagement in the past, like they want us to believe, do you think these countries would have kicked them out? I don't think so. They would have continued to allow them to defend and protect them from jihadis. But obviously, they failed on that front. This is why countries like Senegal, countries like Chad, and countries like Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, all these Francophone African countries, Madagascar and the Central African Republic, they have all decided they no longer want France in their countries. That is why it is a troubling development and worrying that France is now finding alternative bases, alternative military engagements away from their former colonies and into coastal West Africa. And Ghana and Nigeria are playing along. They are giving France what they want in West Africa. And we all know that France has one objective and one objective alone: to stop the revolution in the Sahel, to stage another coup and remove these revolutionary leaders, these leaders from power, and to continue plundering the uranium, the gold of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and to stop what Russia and China are doing for these countries.
Okay, so I think it's pretty clear that Ghana is not mistakenly doing these things. It's not like, so in law, I think most of you knows that I'm studying law, and I deal with a lot of things on a daily basis. So we have misrepresentation, and then we have innocent misrepresentation. Now, misrepresentation itself, it's deliberate. So you are deliberately wanting to misrepresent a fact or maybe information or evidence or whatever. Now, innocent misrepresentation is probably self-explanatory. You are misrepresenting whatever you are misrepresenting, but it's innocent. Like, you are not even aware of what you're doing. Now, when we go to Mahama, it's not like I was giving Mahama the benefit of the doubt because I love this guy. He was one of the 7 leaders in Africa that I'm counting as good leaders. I mean, after the AES, the Sahel leaders, come my own president, the Lioness, Netumbo Ndaitwa, and then comes the president of Botswana, and I thought that was, the next one was Mahama, and then the prime minister of Ethiopia. Obviously, those two have fallen down because Ethiopia is now fighting with its own sister country, inviting, I think, the divided states. So I'm kind of, yeah. So Mahama was one of my favorite leaders. I kind of loved him. So I admire the fact that he really loved the AES. You know, he was supporting them. He was against ECOWAS and so on. But now we're realizing that he has been playing two-faced. It's not that he was innocent. And in that case, you prefer Nigeria because Nigeria, Tinubu is just straightforwardly a puppet. We are not even guessing about him. He is a puppet. We know what he stands for. He has probably 6, I think, as you heard from the guy that was doing the Nigerian YouTuber that was doing the analysis, Nigeria has been into Western powers a lot. Like, they invited the enemy inside there. He even say he's and that's why I love Nigerians. You know, they are not apologetic about putting down facts, even if it involves their government. He said Nigeria is kaput. Nigeria is finished. It's gone, right? So Mahama is not mistakenly doing this thing. He's deliberate. It's only because he is secretive. He's not like Nigeria in the open. It's almost like comparing the US and Canadian racism. US racism is kind of straightforward. You see police brutality. It's kind of like straight. You face it in the eye. However, Canadian racism is, what is that guy called? He's a Donovan Bailey. He was a 100-meter runner. He said in Canada you face racism with a smile, with a big smile, I should add. So it doesn't mean Canada is not racist. It just means that they hide it so well. That is Ghana. Ghana is Canada, and the US and Nigeria is the US, to be quite honest. Now, I should admit also, when I'm mentioning Canadian racism, honestly speaking, I got to love this country, and it's not perfect, but we have, of course, there's racism, but we have our own good things, and I feel like most Canadians are trying. And I think one of the things that I also feel is that, especially the young children, you know, they are born knowing what happened in the past, but really not wanting to agree with what, not wanting to agree with what their parents did in the past. So I appreciate that. So yeah, so Mahama is just a disappointment, guys, honestly speaking. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to share that. So take care, guys. Bye.
Wasafa,